The following is a paid program on WROK Rockford. Welcome to Ask the Expert on News Talk 1440 and 96.1 WROK, featuring the best local businesses and services right here in the Rockford region. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll bring you expert advice, insider tips, and a chance for you to connect directly with the people who make our community thrive. Have a question? Send us a message to the 1440 WROK app. This is Ask the Expert with Riley O'Neill.
And that would be me. Hey, thanks for joining us. 9:35 now at News Talk 1440 WROK. Ask the Experts, we learn all sorts of different things from some wonderful local businesses that are here to help you and make your life go smoother, better, and in a lot of cases, take care of some of the problems that you yourself might be having problems handling yourself. And in this case, I think today is a perfect example of that. Today, we're going to learn about Internet Marketing Experience. And, we've got a new friend in the studio, John Lacazzi. He's the owner. He's the president. John, how are you?
Hey, Riley. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
John and I are meeting for the first time today. I spent a little time learning a bit about what he does and how he does it. But let's take this from the ground up on this one, because there's a lot of people that probably you haven't met in this town yet. You know lots of them, but there are probably a few you haven't met yet.
Well, I have been here a minute. I basically grew up here starting at age 3. So
I was going to give me some background on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing I like to do is I like to say that we are live. This is not an infomercial. I want to make this organic, and I want to give away some serious content with this radio show throughout the time that we're going to be on it.
We talk, we learn, we spend a little time together here.
Yeah, I'm going to give it away and see what happens in regards to good content and how the industry works.
Sure.
So, that being said, we've been doing this now 17 years.
All right, get the hang of it then.
Oh, definitely in the hang of it.
17 years. But you're from this area since age 3.
Yeah.
Since age 3.
Age 3, yep. So live in Boone County, married. My wife is Nikki, have a 7-year-old daughter, Ainsley, and my other family is still local here as well. My parents, my brother, as well as aunts, uncles. So, I have good roots here.
Okay, good roots and extended family here.
Yep.
That's always a good start.
Belvedere High School.
Nice.
Played football back in the glory days.
You look like a guy who did. You look like a guy who did.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Mike Hearn. God rest his soul. It was such a pleasure to play for him back in the day.
What a terrific guy. What a terrific guy he was, too. So, all right. Yeah. So, you've established your local bona fides here, very much so.
Absolutely. And then went to Rockford College, which is now Rockford University.
Sure.
Played on their first football team.
Outstanding. And all the while thinking, I think the internet is the key to my future. When did that jump into your head?
Oh, well, that was probably somewhere around, 2006.
Okay.
Maybe 2007, I was starting to get curious about owning my own company. I'd been around entrepreneurship previously. My uncle Ken Dufour and my aunt have their own company. They had me as an intern, aviation management consulting. I worked for them for many years, so I was around it.
Yeah.
I experienced it, enjoyed it, and always knew I wanted to do something. I just didn't quite know what.
A lot of people go through that in their lives. People who, have the mechanisms, have the brains, have the drive and all that to go out and execute, just don't know exactly what it is I'm going to execute yet.
Right.
But then one day, light bulb popped on over your head?
Well, it did. I was actually working full time at Rockford University.
Sure.
At that time, and I was just kind of playing around and learning about the internet at that particular time, and what could be done with website design, SEO, Google rankings. Google wasn't brand new at the time, but it was still blossoming, right? So I was just digging in. My major at Rockford University was marketing.
Okay.
So it was making sense that I was kind of finding my way back in some form or fashion. And even the exposure we had to internet marketing at that point in time when I graduated in 2004 was limited.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we still had not really hit a full stride in internet marketing the way that we're seeing today.
So I was essentially self-teaching myself there for at least a little bit. And then I wandered off to a seminar in Madison where I listened to a series of presentations. And this, like I said, this is probably 2006, 2007. And one caught my eye in particular. His name was Brian Kaz. He's actually out of Madison. Great guy, has the same birthday as me. Tell me that's not
a sign. That's a sign, a shared sign.
That is definitely a sign. But after the presentation that he talked about in regards to internet marketing, I connected with him, and he ended up hiring me as a project manager. So I actually worked for him, and I still worked at Rockford University until I basically replaced my income at Rockford University and started with him full time.
Sure.
After a couple years of doing that, which was interesting, I mean, I got to talk to people and be support for his business all over the world. But as that started to, transition, and I started working with more local business clients at that particular time versus the project management through him. So it eventually transitioned, but still lots of love for where I got my start.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely showed me the ropes back then.
And I'm sure that some of the fundamentals and principles you picked up at that time are still applicable to everything you do today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It gave me the lay of the land. And once again, he was an entrepreneur, so I could follow in his footsteps.
Right.
But a little different though, with more business focus rather than just general internet marketing per se. So
I'm guessing too, given your background and some of the experiences you've had, you're a guy who likes to fix things. Because a lot of what you do, though, is fixing things for people who might not, or definitely are, doing it wrong, or not to the best, to achieve the best potential of what they could.
Yeah.
You're a guy who comes in to fix it.
Well, we fix things on the internet when it comes to website design.
Yeah.
I don't know about anything else in regards to
you're
fixing.
probably not going to fix the faucet.
I'm not really a good
plumbing
handyman.
issues. But as far as people are having some issues when that comes, it's always nice to have someone who has a full background and some ideas on how to make things better.
Oh, absolutely. I could comfortably say that there'd be very few situations that could be brought our way nowadays when it comes to website design or web marketing where we couldn't provide insight or a solution. And, sometimes it's just insight. We're okay with helping or offering insight, not necessarily having to actually be the executioner of that particular plan.
To where, okay, I'm having some problems. Can I pick your brain for a minute?
Yes.
That sort of, I imagine you do get calls like that.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And, in fact, we've even worked in services that we offer where we're just offering advice rather than actually doing. We've got a strategic website design, a strategic service where we just offer insights as to what they might be doing that they could do better.
Okay.
And then they take that to their designer to actually execute. We don't actually do that work.
All right.
So we're mainly just a mastermind than we are an actual web designer in that particular scenario. And the reason why we offered that is because it's 2025.
Yeah.
Most businesses already have a website.
True.
And they have that website with somebody that they trust.
Yeah.
That's not always the case.
Who gave them their first website. It's almost your first love. This is the first person I worked on with this.
Maybe it's a son, daughter, nephew, niece, relative, you know what I mean? Neighbor.
That makes it tougher.
There's a lot of strings that get attached to web design that have nothing really to do with marketing.
Right.
We experience that all the time.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah. So the key was to basically come up with services that we could offer to help with our 17 years of expertise,
right,
that don't require us to replace that person in that person's life, in the business context life.
That's really smart. That's a really interesting way of looking at it. So it keeps it smoother for the person that you're helping, especially if it is a scenario where it's a son, it's a nephew, it's a family member, it's a close friend who's handling all this. Boy, the problem telling them they're fired.
Right.
You've alleviated some of that stress right off the bat.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, if they don't want our help, we don't want them to feel uncomfortable per se. We can just offer insight and deliver it that way.
When you and I were talking a little bit off the air, you talked about finding the very best people for certain tasks that you take on.
Absolutely. It's two levels, right? I've got team members for internet marketing experience, and then I've got strategic partners. To name a few of those, in fact, one of them sitting right here with us right now is a special guest, Jasmine Wagner. She's my executive assistant and photographer. She's been with the company since 2019. It's been a pleasure, Jasmine. Thanks for being with us.
Nice.
And so we've also got Kristen Wells, Director of Client Success. Kristen's actually been with IME since 2021, but I've known her since 2017. So Kristen, shout out to you. Steve Dirks has been in the business a long time. A lot of respect for Steve. He's a veteran. And I've actually known him since about 2009.
Okay.
When he was with another ad agency locally, and we've kept in touch over the years.
I'm seeing a thread here.
Oh, yeah?
I'm seeing a thread here that people you've encountered met over the course of your life, you filed away in your mind because down the line want to work with this person, or this person might be the perfect fix for what I need to do right here.
Right on.
The mental Rolodex of great people.
Well, sometimes the cards just align and you have to be ready for when that happens.
Sure.
Spur of the moment. You know, when he told me that he was leaving his other position, I'm like, hey, you want to help us out?
Yeah.
So he's been with us since 2020. And then, even one of my best friends, Branson Werner, we use him as a high-level developer when, because not all tasks are high-level development. Some are just basic updates. But when we need a higher level of website update, I usually call on him, and he's really responsive for us. So, and I've known him since the beginning. I mean, that goes back to my Toys R Us days when I worked at Toys R Us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys are going all the way back to G.I. Joes and stuff here.
Way back.
I like that.
To high school there. But and then we have a team of developers as well, that we use. But
how important overall, and I got to believe that the level of importance is high. You're from here. Your family's from here. You've been here your whole life. Knowing the community, having the contact levels that you have and all that has got to be such a benefit to anybody, any potential client.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Anybody can pull up stakes and move here from someplace and try as best they can to get to know the lay of the land and the feel of the community and how the community culture is and all that. But you were raised in it.
I was raised in it. Advice for somebody that is coming in rather cold into the community, get involved in a club.
Yes.
And I have a recommendation, Riley.
Please, give it to us.
Since 2009, I've been a member of the Rockford Cosmopolitan Club. We are a really great organization locally. That
you are.
Priority number one is to raise money for local not-for-profits, and then we grant them money. We're approaching, if we're not already there, we're approaching $1 million to the Crusader Clinic to help them with the purchase of diabetes testing equipment, as well as diabetes education for the people in need that don't have the money for that.
What a great recipient.
As well as hundreds of thousands of dollars to other not-for-profits locally that are not Crusader Clinic. I mean, the list goes on and on there. But in addition to doing great things, we also network. Yeah. Group of about 200 guys. We have fun. We raise money. We help the community. We do great things. If anybody is interested in getting connected with a club like the Rockford Cosmopolitan Club, go to my website, internetmarketingexperience.com, click on the contact link, send me an email, and I will connect you in.
That's outstanding. Yeah, because you will find, as John was saying, it's a wonderful club, and you'll feel good about so many of the things that you're taking part in doing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And the amount of help going into the community, the amount of people that you'll meet. You got a problem. You all of a sudden have met about 200-300 people who might be able to help you out with that. And that's such a benefit to would-be clients for you when you look at the reach that you have in order to help them achieve what it is they're looking to do.
Well, absolutely. And there's been some personal growth that has come from that group. I mean, I was actually president of the club back in 2017 and 2018.
Okay.
Being able to lead that many people and make strategic decisions, almost like it's a business, but it's not right. It's not for profit. But that was a really good growth experience for me. And on top of it, I got to stand here and say that, I don't know if I would be doing this today without that group. I've gotten a lot of great contacts and customers from that particular entity. I mean, business networking is not the top priority, but it does happen naturally.
You're right.
Because you're a bunch of guys having fun.
Yeah.
And you start trusting each other, and you obviously would do anything to make everyone happy. So, yeah.
It's an outstanding concept and one that pays dividends for literally everybody involved.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what you're looking for when you're looking to hire someone locally to take care of your problems. You want someone who's intrinsically involved in the community. I think it's really important to be involved in service organizations in the community, fundraising for not-for-profits, giving back, for lack of a better term. I think it's an overused term.
Yeah.
But doing what you can in the community as well as doing what you do as a business entity.
Riley, let's call it like it is. Web designers typically I mean, and I don't mean any offense if there's web designers out there or people that know web designers, but we kind of are shut in sometimes, right? They're coders, developers, graphic designers. They keep to themselves. I mean, they're.
I have several friends who do that who would not take offense at you saying
right.
that.
Well, we're creatives, right?
Yes.
I consider myself to be more of a business guy than a pure creative. I mean, Jasmine is a very good creative person, right? I mean, but as far as say like myself, I tend to gravitate more towards the business angle of it. But getting into a group like that helps keep you active in the community, and that is really how you grow a business. I wouldn't have been able to grow it to this level without contacts.
Oh,
right?
I'm sure that's true. And you've been doing this for 17 years.
Yeah.
So, there's something to be said there. When you consider what the fail rate is on so many different businesses, it comes up far shorter than 17 years.
It's like 90% fail rate.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And then when you're running through a recession, high times of inflation, flux, and all those other things, the fact that you've kept a steady ship going all the time speaks volumes about the way you conduct yourself and your business.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, another important point, too, we already kind of talked about the team members of the company, but I have strategic partners that I use. And, the traditional agency model is we do everything all underneath one roof.
Right. Yep.
That's
got an office
really,
for that, this, that, and something else.
Right. I've got somebody in-house full-time that does that.
Yep.
I think that's starting to expire a little bit. I really do. I'm not saying that there aren't some ad agencies out there that still do that, but, I think there's a way to be even leaner and meaner about it, and meaner in a good way.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Because, why bring in somebody on an entry-level side to do something extremely important for your customers? Why not go out and find the best people in your contact list that can do that have already been doing it,
sure,
and that are doing it, and then bring them in to assist your clients? That's basically what we've done for many years. So, yes, we offer a lot of things on our website, and that doesn't necessarily mean we do them right there in-house. Sometimes we have strategic partners we bring to the table that then execute that particular service for us. And we put our credibility on the line, too, with that.
I was going to say,
if
because you're not leaning out to a quote-unquote subcontractor who could blow up everything that you have worked so hard to do.
No.
Which is why you were comparing an entry level to an established, experienced individual.
Exactly. I mean, I want to introduce my clients to somebody who's an actual expert, not somebody who's learning the business. I mean, if there's someone learning the business, that's fine. Obviously everyone has to start somewhere, but internet marketing is really important nowadays, right? And it's the details that can make or break a campaign.
Sure.
Anybody can set some of this stuff up, but like I said, the devil's in the details. And without one little component, it can all fail, and you can waste lots of time, money, energy. You can have, a bad viewpoint about a certain type of marketing if it didn't get results, but in reality, you just didn't do it right.
Well, and the idea that you being more of the business oriented and you surround yourself with some of the creatives as well, that covers people a lot better, because a creative person can come up with a great idea. There's no way we can pull that off with the funding that we have.
Right.
There's no way that this guy is going to go for that. That would work great in another market. It isn't really going to work here.
Yeah.
When you're creative and you're coming up with things, you're just throwing stuff up to see what sticks. When you bring in the business mindset to go in, that's how you hone it. That's how you polish it. That's how you make it fit where you're going.
Exactly. I like you, Riley. You know my world, don't
I've been around a little bit. I read a little bit here and there. Plus, one of the joys of my job is getting a chance to talk to people like you and learn these things as I go along.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's been an experience.
I bet it has. I bet it has.
Absolutely. And, there's that certain point in time, when you're running a business where you realize that there's other people that depend on your success except just yourself.
Right. Yeah. You got other people with you.
Right. Other people. And so, like my team members already know, just for our audience, I'm all in. This is what I want to do. I don't have any other plans with my career. I don't have any other ambitions. This is what I want to do. I'm living my dream right now.
Which is, so many people would love to be able to say that, but can't. I love the idea that you're doing it, but obviously, and looking at the way that you've come forward over the years, where you are right now is not exactly where you wish to stay.
Well,
you're living the dream, but you have plans for the future at the same time.
Well, I think yeah, you're right. I mean, I think it's important to stay agile.
Yeah.
I can't do things the same way with this business as I did in 2008.
No, and in 5 years, things will be a
2012.
little different then that you'll have to adapt to and change around with.
Well, the industry by design changes. In fact, I don't know if there's an industry right now that isn't in changing with
some state of flux. Yeah.
Absolutely, right? Even something like landscaping could have AI impacting it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it is a personal growth opportunity to continue just learning new things, exposing myself to different areas of the industry, adding new services that we may not have offered previously, like email marketing, which believe it or not, based on what I've learned on email marketing in the last 3 or 4 years, I've reprioritized my thoughts around that too.
Yeah.
It's like low-hanging fruit for people that they're typically not doing within their small business.
Okay.
And
the key is balance. The key,
Balance.
I would think, with an email marketing campaign is a balance, because how many of us have agreed to, will you agree to sending you notes and letting you know what's going on? Absolutely. You sent me 6 in a day. We're done here.
Right.
We're done here. It's knowing how to implement that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to say, hey, they want text notifications. Well, let's send them 100 a day. Not only have you lost them forever, they're going to tell everybody else that you are not someone to deal with.
Well, I mean, if you were to talk about email marketing, it's about picking the right headline.
Yeah.
I mean, most people will not pick the right headline.
Yeah, you got
Just
like
plain
3
and simple.
seconds to get my attention
Right.
at most. What are you going to throw at me to catch my eye?
Or even the first sentence, because as you're on your smartphone and you're scrolling through your email, you are seeing the headline and the preview snippet of the email. Like that dictates whether or not people are going to open that email or not. I mean, your conversion rate, or I should say your open rate per se, will depend basically on those 2 items. If you could spend 3 hours doing the whole email, but really it comes down to the title and that line.
Right.
And
if you start out asking me a question as the person who's receiving that email, you've already failed.
Yeah.
You've already failed.
I think
Do you want to make more money? Would you like to pay less in taxes? Okay, now you've irritated the hell out of me with 2 stupid questions.
Yeah.
Delete.
Yeah.
And you never get a chance to see it. And the average person who's just throwing those out might not know that.
What's challenging for a business owner to get outside the box of their business, to be able to think on a marketing level that'll resonate with their audience, which is why web agencies like us have a place, right? Because when we're introduced to a company, we're not inside their parameters. We're not inside their box. We can think outside the box that they play in every day.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because you're getting a fresh look at it.
That enables us to come at it fresh and maybe make statements, create headlines for website design or for email marketing that they wouldn't normally come up with on their own. And then that creates opportunities. And also we can kind of resonate with a lot of our customers because, I mean, we use services similar to those.
Yeah.
For example, asphalt paving, concrete, roofing. I've been in the market for those things. I know what I'm looking at as a consumer.
You're a married man with kids and a family and a home. I mean, you're exposed to the same things that everybody else is out there looking for.
Exactly.
Only you might have just a slightly better idea of how to get that idea across. And by slightly better, I mean a lot better idea about how to get that message across when you're the advertiser.
Exactly. 100%.
Well, you haven't wasted those 17 years then, have you, at all?
I wouldn't say we've wasted any time. It's been a good growth experiment, that's for sure. And I'm just happy with where we're at.
It's a delight to bump into someone who is as passionate about what they do as you are, John. And we're almost out of time here, but you're going to come back and visit us again and again and again here on Ask the Experts. We're going to pick your brain until there's very little left.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah,
let's do it. I want you to really challenge me. I want you to challenge me live on this show.
All right,
Riley.
We can do that.
Let's do it.
And if you got questions at all for John, let us know. You can email them into me. You can shoot them off the WROK app. Whatever way would work best. But if you'd like to know something, we would like to pass that information along to you. All right, we got about 10 seconds left. I'm going to try to hit this right on time. Right, Joe?
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. John, good to see you. We'll see you next week.
You got it, Riley.
Jasmine, nice to meet you too. All right, news to be next, and then more Chris Plant.
That's all for today's Ask the Expert on News Talk 1440 and 96.1 WROK. We hope you enjoyed learning from the top local businesses and services in our community. If you're a business owner and want to be featured on an upcoming show, reach out to us here at WROK. It's your chance to showcase your expertise and connect with our listeners. Visit us online at 1440WROK.com to get started. Ask the Expert is a paid program on WROK Rockford.
Serving Rockford for over 100 years. 1440 WROK Rockford, 96.1 FM, W241 DF Rockford. News Talk 1440